The engagement party was in full swing at the Riverside Country Club in Cedar Falls, Iowa, and I felt like I was watching it all from underwater. Crystal chandeliers cast warm light over the elegant crowd, and somewhere in the distance, a string quartet played classical music that nobody was really listening to. My name is Shepard Kane, and I was supposed to be celebrating my best friend's engagement to the woman of his dreams. Instead, I was standing in the corner, nursing a whiskey and trying not to stare the way his smile didn't quite reach his eyes. Boone Mercier had been my roommate at the University of Iowa, my groomsman when I'd married Sarah 3 years ago, and the godfather to my daughter Emma. He was also the reason I'd been lying awake at night for the past 6 months, questioning everything I thought I knew about myself. "You look like you're at a funeral instead of a party," came a familiar voice behind me. I turned to find Boone approaching with 2 fresh drinks, his black hair perfectly styled, his charcoal suit fitting him like it was made for him. Which it probably was. His family had money, the kind of old Iowa money that came from generations of successful farming and smart investments. "Just thinking," I said, accepting the drink he offered. "About what?" "About you," I thought. "About the way you looked at me last week when we were working on your car. About how I can't stop thinking about what it would feel like to kiss you." "Work stuff," I lied. "You know how it is." Boone was quiet for a moment, studying my face with those green eyes that had been haunting my dreams. "You've been distant lately, Shep. Is everything okay?" The concern in his voice made my chest tight. This was the problem with Boone. He genuinely cared about people, genuinely wanted to help when he saw someone struggling. It made what I was feeling for him even more complicated. "I'm fine," I said. "Just tired." "How's Sarah? How's Emma?" "They're good. Emma's walking now, getting into everything." I forced a smile. "Sarah's thinking about going back to work part-time." "That's great. You guys seem really happy." The words hit me like a physical blow. We weren't happy. Hadn't been for months. Sarah and I had been growing apart steadily. 2 people who'd married young and were discovering we wanted different things. We were good parents together, good friends, but the spark that had once been there was gone. "What about you?" I asked, desperate to change the subject. "How are you feeling about the engagement?" Something flickered across his face. Doubt, maybe, or uncertainty. "Good," he said, but it sounded like he was trying to convince himself as much as me. "Margot's amazing. She's everything I should want in a wife." "Should want. Do want," he corrected quickly. "She's beautiful, intelligent, comes from a good family. My parents love her. And you?" "Of course I love her." But there was something in his voice that made me wonder if he was trying to convince himself of that too. 2 weeks after the engagement party, Boone called me in my insurance office, his voice tight with something I couldn't identify. "Can you meet me somewhere?" he asked. "I need to talk to someone." "Sure. Where?" "The old bridge on Highway 218. You know the one." I knew it. We'd spent countless hours there during college, sitting on the banks of the Cedar River, talking about everything and nothing. It was where we'd solved the world's problems and shared our deepest fears. I found him sitting on the hood of his BMW, staring out at the water. The late afternoon sun caught the gold in his hair, and for a moment, I just stood there watching him, memorizing the way he looked in that light. "Thanks for coming," he said when he noticed me approaching. "Always," I said, settling beside him on the hood. "What's going on?" "I think I'm making a mistake." "What kind of mistake?" "Marrying Margot." The words came out in a rush, like he'd been holding them back for weeks. "I care about her, but I don't think I'm in love with her. Not the way I should be." "What do you mean?" "I mean, I look at her and I feel nothing. Affection, sure. Respect. But no fire, no passion. No desperate need to be with her every second of the day." "Maybe that's not what love looks like for everyone," I said carefully. "Maybe the desperate passion thing is just in movies." "Is that how you feel about Sarah?" The question caught me off guard. "What do you mean?" "I mean, do you feel passion for her? Do you look at her and feel like you're drowning in how much you want her?" I was quiet for a long moment. "Not anymore," I admitted. "I don't think I ever did, really. I loved her, but it was comfortable love. Safe love. So we're both settling. Maybe. There's something else, he said, his voice so quiet I almost missed it. What? I think I know why I don't feel that way about Margot. Why I've never felt that way about any woman. My heart started hammering against my ribs. Boone, I think I'm gay, Shep. I think I've been lying to myself for years, trying to be the person everyone expected me to be. The words hung in the air between us like a bridge I was afraid to cross. Part of me wanted to tell him that I'd been having the same thoughts, the same realizations. But another part of me was terrified of what that conversation might lead to. How long have you known? I asked. Deep down? Probably always. But I've been really confronting it for the past few months. What changed? He turned to look at me, and in his eyes, I saw something that made my breath catch. I started having feelings for someone. Real feelings. The kind I've never had for anyone before. Who? Someone I can't have. Someone who's married with a kid and a whole life that doesn't include me. The words hit me like lightning. He was talking about me. He had to be. Boone, I said, my voice barely a whisper. I know it's crazy. I know it's impossible. But I can't stop thinking about him. About what it would be like to be with him. What are you going to do? I don't know. I can't marry Margot feeling this way. It wouldn't be fair to her. And the other person? I can't do anything about that. He's got a life, a family. I won't be the one to destroy that. We sat in silence, watching the sun sink toward the horizon. Everything had changed in the space of 5 minutes, and I felt like I was standing at the edge of a cliff, looking down at rocks and water far below. Shep, he said finally, yeah. If things were different, if we were different people in different circumstances, do you think we could have been something? The question broke my heart and mended it at the same time. I think we already are something, I said. We just don't know what to call it. That night, I lay in bed next to Sarah, staring at the ceiling and replaying every moment of my conversation with Boone. She was sleeping peacefully beside me, and Emma was quiet in her crib across the room, but my mind was racing. I'd spent the past 6 months trying to convince myself that what I felt for Boone was just friendship, just admiration for someone I'd known for years. But his confession had shattered that illusion completely. I was in love with him, had been for longer than I wanted to admit. The realization should have terrified me, but instead, it felt like finally being able to breathe. Like a weight I'd been carrying for months had suddenly been lifted from my chest. But with that relief came a crushing sense of impossibility. I was married. I had a daughter. I had responsibilities, commitments, a life that I'd built on the assumption that I was someone I was apparently not. Over the next few days, I found myself looking at Sarah with new eyes. She was beautiful, intelligent, a wonderful mother. But when I tried to summon the feelings I'd once had for her, all I found was emptiness. You're distracted, she said one evening as we cleaned up after dinner. More than usual. Just work stuff? I said, the lie coming easily now. Is it about the Morrison account? I had no idea what she was talking about. Yeah, something like that. She studied my face for a moment. Shep, are you happy? The question caught me completely off guard. What do you mean? I mean, are you happy? With us, with this life we've built. Of course I'm happy. Why would you ask that? Because you seem like you're somewhere else all the time. Like you're going through the motions, but not really here. She was right, and we both knew it. I've been going through the motions for months, maybe years. I'm here, I said weakly. Are you? Because it feels like you're a million miles away. That night, after Sarah fell asleep, I snuck out to the back porch with my phone. Boone answered on the second ring. Hey, he said, his voice rough with sleep. Did I wake you? No, I couldn't sleep anyway. What's going on? I need to see you. Shep, I don't think that's a good idea. After what I told you the other day. Please, just meet me somewhere. We need to talk. There was a long pause. Okay, the river. 20 minutes. I found him sitting on the bank, his feet dangling in the water. The moon was nearly full, casting silver light across the ripples. I've been thinking about what you said, I told him as I settled beside him. What about it? About having feelings for someone you can't have. Shep, I know it's me. And I need you to know that I feel the same way." The words hung between us like a live wire. He turned to look at me, his eyes wide with something that might have been hope or fear. "You do. I do. I've been lying to myself for months, trying to convince myself that what I felt for you was just friendship. But it's not. It's never been just friendship." "What does that mean?" "I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I couldn't let you think you were alone in this. You're married, Shep. You have a daughter. I know. And I love Emma more than anything in the world. But Sarah and we're not happy. We haven't been for a long time. That doesn't mean you should blow up your life. What if it's already blown up? What if I've been living someone else's life this whole time?" He was quiet for a moment, processing. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying I'm in love with you. I'm saying I think I've been in love with you for years and just didn't know how to admit it to myself. And Margot, what about her? Are you asking me to leave her for you? I'm asking you to be honest about who you are, about what you want. If that includes me, then we'll figure it out. If it doesn't, then at least you'll be living authentically. And if it does include you, then we'll figure out how to build a life together. It won't be easy, but it'll be real." When he leaned over and kissed me, soft and tentative in the moonlight, I felt like I was finally coming home. The next few weeks were a blur of stolen moments and difficult conversations. Boone broke things off with Margot, a conversation that left him devastated but certain he'd done the right thing. I started having honest talks with Sarah about the state of our marriage, conversations that were painful but necessary. "I think we both know this hasn't been working for a while," she said one evening after Emma was asleep. "We're good friends, good parents, but we're not. We're not in love anymore." "I'm sorry," I said, and meant it. "I'm sorry I couldn't be the husband you deserved. You were a good husband, Shep. You're a good man. We just grew apart. What do we do now? We figure out how to co-parent Emma. We figure out how to be friends. And we both find a way to be happy. Are you sure?" "I'm sure. I've been thinking about this for months too. We both deserve to be with someone who makes us feel alive." The divorce proceedings were amicable, if heartbreaking. Sarah and I worked out a custody arrangement that put Emma first, and I moved into a small apartment across town while we sorted everything out. Boone and I were careful during this period, not wanting to complicate things further. We talked every day, spent time together, but we were both aware that we were in a fragile transition period. "I don't want to be the reason your marriage ended," he said one evening as we sat on my new couch, carefully maintaining distance between us. "You're not. My marriage ended because Sarah and I weren't right for each other. You're just the reason I finally admitted it to myself. How do you know this is right? How do you know we're not just making a huge mistake? Because when I'm with you, I feel like myself for the first time in years. Because when I think about building a life with you, I don't feel trapped or scared. I feel excited. And Emma will always be my priority. But I want her to see me happy. I want her to grow up knowing that love comes in all forms, and that authenticity is more important than conformity. Are you sure you're ready for this? For all the complications that come with being with me?" "I'm sure. Are you?" He looked at me for a long moment, and I saw love and certainty and a little fear in his eyes. "I'm sure too." When he kissed me this time, it was different from that first tentative kiss by the river. This was a kiss full of promise and possibility, a kiss that said yes to whatever came next. 6 months later, Boone and I moved in together to a house on the outskirts of town. It was small but perfect for our new life, a place where I could have Emma for my weekends, where Boone could work on his writing, where we could build something real together. The first night in our new home, we sat on the floor of the empty living room, eating Chinese takeout and planning our future. "I can't believe we're actually doing this," I said, looking around at the boxes that contained our combined lives. "Having second thoughts?" "No, just amazed. 6 months ago, I was living a completely different life. Better or worse? Definitely better. Definitely more honest. I love you, Shepard Kane," he said, using my full name the way he did when he was being serious. "I love you too, Boone Mercier." Later, as we lay in our bed in our bedroom in our house, I marveled at how natural it all felt, How right it felt to have him beside me, to fall asleep to the sound of his breathing, to wake up to his face on the pillow next to mine. "What are you thinking about?" he asked, his voice sleepy and content. "Just this. Us. How we got here. Any regrets?" "None." "You." "Just one." "What's that?" "That it took us so long to figure it out." I laughed. Better late than never. Much better. When Emma came to stay with us that weekend, she took to Boone immediately. He read her stories, played with her toys, and treated her like she was the most important person in the world. "She likes you," I told him after we'd put her to bed. "I like her too. She's amazing, Shep. You and Sarah did a great job." "We did, didn't we?" "Think she'll be okay with all this?" "With us. I think she'll be fine. Kids adapt. And she'll grow up knowing that love is love, regardless of what it looks like." That's a good lesson. The best lesson. As I watched Boone reading to Emma, as I saw how gentle and patient he was with her, I knew I'd made the right choice. We'd both made the right choice. It hadn't been easy. There had been difficult conversations, hurt feelings, judgment from some people in our small town. But we'd faced it all together, and we'd come out stronger on the other side. "I have something to tell you," I said one evening as we sat on our front porch, watching the sunset. "What's that?" "I'm happy. Really, truly happy. For the first time in my adult life, I feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. With me, with you, with Emma, with this life we've built. Even though it's complicated, especially because it's complicated, the best things in life usually are." He smiled and reached for my hand. "I love you. I love you too." And sitting there on our porch, in our house, with our complicated but beautiful life spread out before us, I knew that sometimes the most important choice you can make is the choice to be honest about who you are and who you love. Even when it's complicated, even when it's scary, even when it means turning your whole world upside down. Because in the end, authentic love, complicated, messy, real love, is always worth it.